edition.
The regional edition of 69 News starts right now.
Your life, your world, your news. This is 69 News, live at 6.
The day is here. The vote, historic. Today, millions of Americans flooded polling stations across the country, casting their ballots for the next commander-in-chief.
Voters around the country and right here in our region had one thing in common today. Many played the waiting game. Long lines were the norm, including here in Lehigh County. State officials say more than 8.5 million Pennsylvania residents are registered to vote. An estimated 6 million will. Well, polling places across Pennsylvania and New Jersey are likely to see record numbers.
We have team coverage throughout the region. Tonight, we begin with WFMZ's Joscelyn Moes, who's live in Upper Saucon Township, Lehigh County. Jocelyn?
Rob, it's still busy out here, but not nearly as busy as it was an hour ago. Take a look behind me. There was a line of people coming out the doors of this building, wrapping around this building, but now it seems everyone has made it inside, at least here at this polling place. Voters came out in record numbers to do their civic duty. At Orfield Middle School in Lehigh County, turnout was steady.
It does matter more than others for me this time around. I'm, single, kids, struggling. I'm living basically off of minimum wage, and how long can you do that for? So, yeah, it makes a difference for me.
Long lines were the name of the game at polling places around the Lehigh Valley. At this one on East 4th Street in Bethlehem, the line wrapped around the building. Voters say they waited about 2 hours.
All the things happening, especially the economic crisis, so I think it's important that I cast my vote.
In Fountain Hill, voters recognized the significance of their vote.
It's important to vote. Things that you want done in the country, you need to make sure they get done the way you want to get them done.
The 8 years of the Bush administration have been so damaging that we really need to make sure we do it right this time.
Election officials in Easton say they're prepared for record turnout at the polls.
It's gotten a lot of people, younger people, interested in voting, regardless of what the outcome is, and that's important. Your voice has to be heard.
And if you haven't voted yet, there's still plenty of time. Polling places here in Pennsylvania and New Jersey are open until 8 o'clock. We're live in Upper Saucon Township. Joscelyn Moes, 69 News.
All right, Jocelyn, thanks very much for that. The candidates are also busy casting their ballots today. Our cameras caught up with Northampton County DA John Morganelli in Bethlehem. The Democrats running for State Attorney General, hoping to unseat this man, the Republican incumbent Tom Corbett. Libertarian Mary Kay Rogers is also on the ballot. Two candidates vying for Pennsylvania's 8th congressional district seat hit the polls with family today. Congressman Patrick Murphy voted in Bristol Township, Bucks County, with a tiny supporter in tow, his daughter Maggie. His wife was also there with him. Republican challenger in that race, Tom Mannion, and his wife cast their votes over in Doylestown. Mannion says he is confident the race will come down to the wire. Independent Tom Lingenfelter is also on the ballot.
Voters in Bucks County packed polling stations this morning, but others were able to breeze through later in the afternoon. WFMZ's Jaccii Shutack has more on that and the issues that brought many of them out to the polls today.
7 seconds. That's the wait time one Bucks County voter endured when he voted at the Christ Community Bible Church in Percy this afternoon.
I was very surprised by it. I only had maybe a minute wait.
The lines weren't long right now. They said they were before.
Oh, my God. This morning it was, we didn't even get in here because the parking lot was full. The road was full.
I figured if I came off hours, I'd beat the rush.
The lines were equally as short mid-afternoon at Quakertown Elementary School. Motivated by the issues at stake, voters say they were prepared to wait in order to make their choices count.
I think every election's important, but this one more or less because the country's going down the crapper.
The issues alone, because issues of the economy, the politics, health care, Roe v. versus Wade, come on, there are a lot of issues that were up in the air.
One of them is critically defense of the United States.
A lot of the issues right now, and I'm retired, I'm old, and I got to watch my money.
Poll workers say voters have turned out in record numbers, which they only expect to increase between now and 8 o'clock when the polls close. Reporting in Quakertown, Jaccii Shutack, 69 News.
Voters had plenty of time to kill today in New Jersey. Even Governor John Corzine had to wait his turn in Hoboken. You can see he has a cup of joe in his hand there, right in the middle of your screen. He even read a newspaper to pass the time.
Well, Warren County poll workers say a crush of voters has kept them busy today. Many of those that we spoke with say it looks like a record turnout for the county. WFMZ's Jaccii Farris has that story.
What's the last name?
Powhatcong poll worker Mary Smith has her hands full.
A little on the crazy side.
Mary and her neighbor Dottie say in all the years they've worked elections, they've never seen so many people.
4 times more than usual.
This one here was really big.
In fact, voters in Powhatcong were waiting outside before the polls opened at 6 to cast their votes. Once inside, voters waited in line and then lined up for the PTA bake sale muffins, cupcakes, and pies.
This is huge. I've never seen the passion that people have shown with whichever candidate they wanted to vote for.
Over at the Phillipsburg Senior Center, the story is much the same, with one voting district on one side of the room and a second voting district on the other, each equally busy with people casting their votes for the next president. Everyone voting for the candidate they think will best guide the country.
The way the world is right now, the economy, the war, I have grandchildren that I'm afraid for their future.
Poll workers say they expect the turnout numbers to increase as the day progresses, and people who didn't have time to come and vote this morning get off work and head to the polls before they close. In Warren County, New Jersey, Jaccii Farris, 69 News.
All right, thanks, Jaccii. Well, Barack Obama was up bright and early to cast his ballot. He and his wife, Michelle, were among the first to vote after polls opened in Chicago. They were joined by their daughters and met by a round of applause after they cast their vote. Obama did make one last campaign stop in Indiana today. He'll spend the rest of the night back home in Chicago watching the results. The Biden family was also out in full force today in Delaware. Joe Biden cast his vote alongside his wife, mother, and daughter in his hometown of Wilmington. He'll spend the rest of the night with Barack Obama in Chicago.
John McCain is breaking with tradition today. After casting his vote alongside his wife, Cindy, he made a final push for votes in Colorado and New Mexico. McCain typically stays close to home on Election Day. He'll be back in Arizona later tonight to watch the results with his running mate, Sarah Palin. Palin, meantime, had a busy day herself. She arrived in her hometown of Wasilla, Alaska, early this morning to cast her vote. She is in the casual Wasilla garb. She hopped on a plane shortly afterwards to make her way back to Arizona.
Well, no matter who wins, this election will be monumental. Besides having either the first black president or the first female vice president, this will be the first time in nearly 50 years and only the third time in history that a senator will be calling the White House home. So what will happen to the one or possibly two vacant Senate seats? If the Democrats win, the governors of Illinois and Delaware will choose replacements for Barack Obama and Joe Biden. If John McCain becomes president, Arizona's governor will decide who fills his seat.
I understand. When the polls close, remember to join us right here on 69 News tonight for our Election Central broadcast. It starts at 9 o'clock. We'll have up-to-the-minute results, plus full reports from around the region. A lot of races to cover tonight. That's Election Central tonight at 9 here on WFMZ TV and WFMZ.com. While you're watching, tell us what you think. You can email your comments. You can even do so now if you want to your take at WFMZ.com. And we'll be reading some of those comments live on the air tonight. There's more to come on 69 News at 6.
It's Judgment Day for an Allentown plant owner whose business went up in smoke.
I'm Melissa Batulis live in Berks County, and coming up we're going to show you what issues voters are bringing with them to the polls. But first, let's send it to Kathy back in the studio for a peek at the forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Melissa. And I'll tell you what, you will need what Melissa was holding if you're going out to the polls over the next couple of hours, and that rain will continue in spots. But for how long? I'll have the very latest for you in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
You're watching WFMZ TV's 69 News live at 6 with Rob Vaughn, Wendy Davis, Troy Hine with sports, and Kathy Craig with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast.
The polls have been busy around Berks County today.
County election officials say they are expecting turnout to be heavy for the remainder of the night as well.
WFMZ's Melissa Batulis is live once again in Bern Township with a look at how things are going there. Melissa?
Yeah, so far so good out here, Rob and Wendy, although Berks County election officials do tell us they are expecting up to an hour's wait at some polling places in the county as we get a little further into the evening. But, you know, voters that I spoke with out here in Bern Township say, hey, they're willing to wait as long as they get to have their say in this election.
I thought it was an important decision the country had to make today.
Duty called hundreds of voters to this precinct in Bern Township. Here and across Berks County, election officials say the turnout has been heavy. A few hiccups have been reported, including a broken voting machine in Reading, but officials say all were quick fixes and there have been no serious issues. The issues that are at the polls are coming in with the voters and have an effect on which candidates they choose.
I think government needs to take care of their money and not waste it. I think that's an issue with me.
There's a lot of terrorists out there, and I think they should fight them more.
And for coming out to voice those opinions today, at least one voter expects a thank you from the winner tomorrow.
I think they should thank the American citizens for, entrusting them in what they're supposed to help us with.
Officials are telling us that some of the heaviest voter turnout is in the Kutztown area around the university. Remember, as long as you are in line to vote by 8 o'clock when the polls close, you will be allowed to vote. Live in Bern Township, Berks County, I'm Melissa Batulis, 69 News.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Well, over in Pottstown, Montgomery County, first-time voters and veterans of Election Day all agreed that this one is a historic one.
Yep, Joel D. Smith has more from the polls.
What makes this election different? Is it the issues?
I would like my health care, just the health care in general, to just be the way it's supposed to be.
The financial crisis, the oil crisis.
Well, it's important to me because I believe that a baby inside a mother's womb is a human being.
Maybe it's the turnout that makes an election historic.
By 10 o'clock this morning, I think we had more people come through here than we did for the whole day for the primary.
Perhaps it's a feeling you get in the voting booth that makes you feel this is special.
Yeah, it does. It's almost an honor. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I was more nervous. Nerves, hands sweating. The actual process was a little nerve-wracking. I didn't want to press the wrong button, but I think I survived. I think I made it.
It could be all of these things, but voters in Pottstown agree that the only way this election will live up to the hype we're feeling now is for the winner to actually do something with his victory.
Everything Bush done, he needs to undo.
Probably jobs, first of all.
He should definitely be thankful that he's in office now.
In Pottstown, Montgomery County, Joel D. Smith, 69 News.
Two men have been killed in a motorcycle crash while fleeing from an officer. They say Xavier Swinton and Phillipsburg resident Herbert White crashed after an officer tried to pull them over. It happened on Route 22 in Lepatcong Township early this morning. Police say the motorcycle was stolen. The owner of an old textile plant in Allentown, who admitted to illegally storing hazardous waste, has learned his fate. Moshe Rubashkin has been sentenced to 16 months behind bars. The waste was discovered after several fires destroyed the Montex Mills building back in 2005. Rubashkin's son also admitted his role in the crime. He is set to be sentenced next month. Both men also must pay $450,000 in restitution.
And there's still more to come after the break.
Sports, two area field hockey teams in open state tournament play. First round state tourney highlights next.
Plus, a Berks County-based department store chain could be staying in the family. We'll have the latest on Boscov's right after this.
For 69 News, call us at 610-791-1111 or email us at news@wfmz.com.
Boscov's could be back in the family. The department store's CEO says Boscov has agreed to sell the company to a family group led by Al Boscov and Edwin Lakin. But in an interview this afternoon with 69 News, Boscov says there's still a lot of work to be done before the sale to that group is final. He says what scared him the most about the store's bankruptcy filing in August was the fate of the employees.
Never dreamed about it, that we would ever fail. Because we have 9,000 people working at Boscov's, not all in Berks County, but in Berks County about 2,000.
Boscov says he's working to secure the financing for the deal and hopes to have one in place by the end of November.
Local lawmakers were doing more than just voting this morning. Many attended the annual meeting of the Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce. It was held at Stabler Arena in Bethlehem. More than 1,000 people were there, including state senators Lisa Boscola and Pat Brown, and some mayors from around the region. Here we go. Lehigh County Executive Don Cunningham was also joined by the chairman of the Philadelphia Phillies and, of course, the big green guy there, the Philly fanatic.
And on to sports we go. The Fanatic I was there. He was in rare form today.
Always is. I love him. All right, let's go to Troy Hine.
Well, thanks, guys. After another tremendous who spent most of the year while he was with the Phillies organization with the Iron Pigs, struck out 17 in the game, signed today by the Blue Jays off of waivers, so he's no longer with the Phillies organization, which is too bad. He was really good. Yeah. Billy did a nice job.
So long, Les.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks, Troy.
We'll be right back. All right.
All right. And now,
And we're going to be a little bit of drizzle out there tonight. No big shakes. As a matter of fact, you can see the temperatures really going to be nice and mild over the next couple of days. But that cold front moves through on Friday night into Saturday, giving us a chance of some shower activity on Saturday and much cooler weather for the rest of next week.
Oh, boy.
Keep the umbrella handy, though, over the next 24 hours to 36 hours.
All righty. Thanks, Kathy. And that'll do it for us.
More news coming up at 9 o'clock tonight. Election Central coverage starts then, and we will look for you then. Good night.
Good night.